I, 28M, am a senior analyst for a logistics firm. For 3 years, I was the guy who stayed home. My girlfriend, 27F, always had an excuse to skip the professional galas, gallery openings, or weekend trips I'd book. She called these things pretentious and called me a corporate drone. Meanwhile, I was paying her rent, her car note, and her health insurance because her freelance consulting business was basically a hobby that earned $0. The breaking point happened 3 days ago. I came home early and saw a Tinder notification on her laptop. Can't wait for tonight, babe. When she walked in later smelling like a cologne I don't own, she didn't even try to hide it. She looked me in the eye and said, "I think we should see other people. Honestly, I already started. I need someone more present, not a drone." I didn't blow up. I just said, "Thanks for the heads up." She looked annoyed that I wasn't begging her to stay. She then had the nerve to tell me she'd need a month to transition out of my apartment, at my expense, of course, while she explored this new relationship. The second she left the room, I went to work. I updated my dating profile to recently single and uploaded all those photos of me at the high-end events she'd refused to attend. I looked sharp, successful, and completely unbothered. I captioned it, "Finally doing all the things I was told were too much. Don't date a handbrake." By that evening, she was screaming. She saw the profile and realized I wasn't playing the role of the heartbroken provider. I told her the lease was in my name, she'd never paid a cent, and she had until the end of the week to get out. The next morning, she barged into my home office demanding $5,000 for a moving fund. She actually said, "It's the least you can do after I wasted 3 years with you." When I refused, she threatened to tell my firm I was abusive and call the cops. I just turned my phone around and showed her I was recording the whole conversation. She called me a freak and stormed out. Then things got weird. She brought the new guy into my apartment. He was some 23-year-old in a tracksuit sitting on my sofa, drinking my 18-year-old scotch. They were laughing about how the drone was going to let them stay for a few weeks while they figured things out. I didn't argue. I called my lawyer and the building manager. I discovered that by running her consulting LLC out of the apartment without permission and bringing in an unauthorized guest, she'd violated the primary lease. I made a deal with the landlord. I'd voluntarily terminate the lease in 48 hours, and they'd let me off without a penalty because I reported the violations myself. The next day, professional movers showed up. She shrieked as they started packing up the furniture, the TV, and even the bed, all of which I had receipts for. The new guy tried to act tough until the movers threatened to call the cops on him for trespassing. By noon, the place was an empty shell. I handed her an envelope containing the recording of her extortion attempt and her Tinder messages, telling her that if she tried to smear my reputation, the whole world would see the truth. I moved into a hotel and went to a charity gala that Friday with a woman I'd known in college, an attorney who actually appreciated the life I'd built. While we were sipping champagne, my doorbell camera showed my ex and her new guy sitting on the floor of the dark, empty apartment eating McDonald's. They had no furniture, and the power was being cut at midnight. The final kicker? She tried to move into my mother's guest room with her 6 suitcases and the new guy. My mom, who had initially defended her, kicked them both out within 20 minutes when she realized the girl expected to be waited on hand and foot. I also didn't forget the $22,000 I'd invested in her business. It turns out the paperwork she signed a year ago wasn't just a support manifest. It was a promissory note with a personal guarantee. Since she'd been using business funds for her personal life, my lawyer was able to pierce the corporate veil. She's now working a 9 to 5 call center job with her wages garnished to pay me back. The new guy blocked her the moment he realized there was no more free ride. I'm no longer the drone. I'm the one flying the plane. If you enjoyed seeing a handbrake get detached at 80 miles per hour, subscribe for more stories where the boring guy finally sends the invoice.